Hi everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. Today is a video of case studies for young water born in the spring season and how to analyze their Bazi chart. I actually intentionally found a bunch of non-traditional ones, just give you a different flavor of how to analyze Bazi. Today's cases might be a little harder because they're not the standard format. So let's dive into the first one. This is a young water person born in the month of February, which is a young wood earthly branch. So the annual pillar is a young wood and fire. The monthly pillar is a young fire and wood. The daily pillar is young water and earth. And the hourly pillar is a yin, earth, and metal. So first step is to assess the strength of this water. Does it have supporters or same as myself element showing up? So I'm looking for either metal or another water to make me strong. Other than this yin metal showing up here, there's no other metal or water to be found. So it's actually easy to make the mistake to draw the conclusion that this example, the daily master is really weak, maybe leaning towards the 10% to 20% strength range. But that's the tricky part, is those three elements, the yang fire, yang wood, and yang earth, they form that special combination relationship, meaning that they become a very, very, very strong and dominant fire energy. So you turn a lot of this wood and earth energy into fire. And then it begs the question, if such a strong fire exists right next to this metal, and we know fire suppresses and kills metal, does that mean this metal is super weak to the point of being useless? So then you might run into a question of how to assess this example. Is it option one, the traditional Bazi type, that the daily master is super weak because there's only one little very weak supporter and is being attacked by the strong enemy next door? Or option two, is this a non-traditional Bazi type, meaning that 90% of the remaining players in the Bazi are all enemies? So I have no chance of fighting with them. I'd rather just follow them to survive. That's the non-standard Bazi type. Because this one little helper is so weak, this is actually falls into that non-standard Bazi type, meaning that even though I wait for more metal and water during the annual 10-year trend, it's still not going to give me any fighting chance of fighting with this big fire, earth, and wood and fire energy, right? Those are all the enemy camp draining water's energy. So I'd rather experience more of this enemy type like wood, fire, and earth element in my life. So I don't stir the pot, I don't anger my enemies, I keep with the flow, and I won't run into hurdles or challenges. So that's how you analyze like a non-standard Bazi type. But another what if scenario, what if position maybe one or two is a metal type of energy? Then it'll make this Bazi very tricky, because now this weak friend is also showing up and connected to the top row. It suddenly make this friend a little bit more useful and strong. Then it's like, oh, I'm still a weak Bazi, but I might still have a fighting chance. And in that case, I might actually fall into that weak standard type of Bazi, versus in this example is a very non-standard Bazi chart. It likes to follow the energy of all this enemy camp to keep myself in survival mode. And the next one is also a fascinating one. This is a young water born in the month of March, which is a Yin Wood earthly branch. So you have a annual pillar of Yin, earth, and wood, the monthly pillar of Yin, fire, and wood, the daily pillar of Yang, water, and fire, and the hourly pillar of Yang, wood, and earth. Again, on the surface, if you don't look at any special relationship or formations, you would say this bazi is weak, right? I don't see any metal or water, any little water buried here, but not useful enough. So you might draw the conclusion, wait, does it mean it's also a non-standard one like the first one? But this one is even trickier because it's hard to catch this special heavenly branch special combination. This yin fire, yang water is one of the 5 total pairs of special combination relationship. Once you meet a certain type of prerequisite, both will morph into a wood energy. This is what makes bazi a little hard. It just takes a lot of practice to be aware of those special entanglement and special relationships. So in order for this to be, I would say 80% of the cases I've seen is next to each other. They just got entangled, but it doesn't truly change who you are as water and fire. You're just saying, oh, both the energy got reduced a little, that's it. But if you meet a certain prerequisite, this magical transformation will happen and both elements will actually turn into a wood energy. Those situations are fairly rare because the prerequisites are very stringent requirements. First, you cannot have any energy making this water strong. So you can't have metal or water because if you have supporters, I'm fairly strong. I'm not going to be easily transformed into another element. That's logical. But this actually is checked. I can't see any metal or water in this bazi. The second is there's no element against the newly formed one. So what I mean by this is yang water and yin fire will transform into wood. So if your bazi has a lot of wood or kind of fire is okay because fire doesn't fight against wood. You have to have a lot of this qi. It's actually making it more likely to transform into something similar. But in a contrast, wood and metal are like this are enemies. If your bazi has too much metal, that hurts the newly formed wood energy, then this formation will not happen. But by just dumb luck, this particular example neither have this metal energy. I can't find it anywhere, right? Like no metal energy. So it meets both of those stringent requirements, which is fairly, fairly rare that it occurs in real life. Then I can say, yes, not only they get entangled, but also both turn into this wood energy. Then in that case, you want to follow this strongly, the trend of this newly formed energy. Then this bazi chart is like a non-standard analysis process. You want more wood or fire because fire flows with wood. It doesn't fight against it. So if you have more wood, fire, or even earth element showing up in your annual 10-year trend, it's going to be a good time. It doesn't like metal and water supporters because it will break apart the strong formation and you're totally have like a sudden jerk in your mindset. You're used to a certain ways of working and it suddenly introduces a brand new opposite energy and that might create some chaos in a person's life. Last but not least is a yang water person born in the month of April, which is a yang earth earthly branch. So this one, I'm not going to read this out loud, but this is a fairly easy one compared to the first two because you can see metal, 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 water. This guy is clearly too strong. And in the conceptual video, I said that the chance of April born Yin water people, the number one risk is too much earth because position number 6 is earth. But in this case, metal is too strong as well. So too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing. Normally, yang water likes metal to make it strong. But this guy is like way too much of supporters, make this having a high risk of being flooded. And on top of it, this earth is supposed to, I mean, technically, those two young earth type are good because earth is supposed to control and suppresses water. But what makes this earth useless is because you have a middleman there, metal, and rather than earth directly suppressing water, it redirects some of this earth energy into growing metal because you have a big pipe in the middle that suck away the earth energy. And then metal in turn pump out more water. So even though we want to see this to control the flow of the flood, it's unfortunate because of the position of all those metal. It actually plays the opposite effect of supporting metal. So earth makes it rendered useless. The only thing you can use is fire because fire will suppress metal. The problem with this puzzle is you can't find fire anywhere. It's way too wet and cold. So even though you have a wood or fire type of preferred element in the annual 10-year trend, it's still not, first, not sustainable because it keeps on rotating amongst the different elements. And second, it's not strong enough because there's no grabbers in your own original bazi to connect with the fire to make this kind of the medicine or treatment, the dosage is too low to treat a strong disease. So this is not a good bazi chart. The reason I brought this up is to show that too much of a good thing, it turns out to be a bad disease and problem. So you can't just say, oh, I remember she said metal grows water, so I want to see metal in my chart. It's conditional. It's the right amount of metal. That would be ideal. This is clearly way too much. So that's 3 case studies for springborn young water bazi. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.